is up, THL, and welcome to the semifinals week of Season 4 celebration. And I don't know what it was about Jedi's post earlier about flags flying forever and seeing all the flags from beta up until Season 3 come up on that feed, but man, it got me hype as fuck. We are 1 week away from knowing who's going to have a shot at the Season 4 championship. And I'm just fucking hyped, man. So on tap tonight, we have all of the playoff conversation you could possibly want. Our house rules for the evening, as always, when it feels anything, man. Whenever there's some nostalgia hype, we have some stats that I'm going to be throwing out from way back in the day for those of you who have been around. And for some of those who might not have known what's been going on since before Season 4, or those of you who joined the corruption, um, there's a long history for a lot of the teams that are left in this Final Four. Even newer teams like the Defias Brotherhood have some old vets on it. And I'm excited to bring some of that back to life with both the nostalgia hype and the old school stats. And I'm sure it will sneak its way in there in some way, shape, or form. But MVP talk has already started. I've already seen some of the conversations in the thread about it. So whenever that makes its way in tonight, that's going to be one of our rules for the evening. With me, as always, holding it down on his potato pile, doing his thing. His team's still alive in the playoffs to bring an active side to this conversation. The one and only Mr. Mange. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm really good. How are you, Jack Sox?
Um, you know what, man? I'm excited about Hearthstone for the first time in a long time. I've been excited about THL. It's the only reason I continue to even mess with this game. But with the new expansion on the horizon, this season wrapping up with some awesome storylines, I don't know, man. Like, I am just in the Hearthstone mood right now and really excited for tonight's show. So excited.
Nice, nice. I'm still not excited at all about Hearthstone, but THL is really cool.
So if we have some time, I'd like to get a little more. Maybe we'll do a quick, like, actually, fuck it, we'll do it right now. Just a quick. I know we had our card review the other night. I hear there's going to be additional segments of the THL card review. Um, does the new expansion at least give you a little tingling sensation?
Oh, of course, of course. Like I hate this game so fucking much, and I'll drop like $100 on the expansion, and I'll hate myself as I'm opening the packs. I'll probably be really into it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and like try to build all these decks, and then I'll go back to hating the game again. But like for right now, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
So I'm hoping that that isn't the way it goes with the hating yourself part. But I may be in the same boat with you. I made that mistake with the old gods. Um, but it'll be interesting. Hearthstone, we're seeing a new mechanic in this whole clan or tribe. I forgot what they call it. I used to play Magic. I know word goes to one game, one goes to the other. It's a new mechanic. Some are calling bullshit. Some are excited for it. So we'll see. We'll see, fam. And maybe Jedi. To answer your question in chat, maybe. I was actually trying to ladder before I realized how much of a meme Milrogue is and how much fun it is to play and stay at rank 19. Mm. But let's get
That's
into the week that was, week 8 of the playoffs. Um, and man, let's just start right from the top and go down and give our thoughts as to how things played out, any shocks we had, any upsets, any wishes or hopes that were smashed for us. And let's get right into it with semifinal qualifier NWA versus the underdogs and late season runners of Netherstorm. This one was more of a close matchup than I think many of us had anticipated it being. What were your thoughts as these two clashed in the quarterfinals?
um when I think Cheesy was like the first one to play the series, first one to play for
Yes.
them,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he went up 3-1. And after that happened, I was like, oh boy, here we go, because that one I thought was like the coin flip matchup, and if they could get that, like they would have the chance to upset. I was really interested in checking out the results. I don't know. Other than Salt losing, excuse me. I wasn't too surprised to see the rest of the results. So
So if Netherstorm had won this,
yeah.
um, this would have been the second season in a row where uh, we have these underdog teams that people kind of write off midway through the season coming back and making deep playoff runs. Um, do you think that they could potentially take the throne as the new Noob Central in THL with the way they performed late in the show that they had respectfully losing in the quarterfinals by 2 points?
Oh, you mean just by going on a really late run?
Yeah, are they gonna be like the new? You know how the Noob Centrals played that late season spoiler for so
Yeah.
long. Could the Nether Team Netherstorm over there? Could they be the new Noob Central?
I mean, they've done it 2 seasons in a row now, so I guess we'll have to see what happens next season. I'll go the opposite way. Instead of commending them for getting their shit together, how about just don't suck at the beginning of the season, Netherstorm? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was the team I was very hyped on at the beginning of the season. And even as we went into this week, where I know a lot of people had NWA as the heavy favorites, especially when you look at the PR differential in the 3 and 4 seeds. But as we talked about going into last week, Pink Samus's last defeat was to Swanky Tiger in week 2. So that being one of the greatest PR difference matchups in this series, a lot of folks might have been underestimating Swanky Tiger, but Pink Samus did come out victorious 3-1 and kind of proving that Hearthstone was Hearthstone week 2 and that he was a superior 4 seed player. But in that 5 seed, were you surprised by the dreaded Gemini matchup? We got to see that one. So what were your thoughts?
Uh, I wasn't surprised. Gemini, despite having a really great season last season, she's definitely been struggling this season, and I think that she struggled pretty mightily on stream. Was not playing very well at all. Strutted, like, I know we've talked about it before. He had like one of the lowest PRs ever in the league,
Mm-hmm.
but ever since NWA signed him a season ago, he's been rock solid, like well above average, really performing. So I thought that he'd come ahead in that matchup, and I was happy to see him play so well.
You know, Drudder reminds me a lot of a guy that we're going to talk about later on when we get down to you guys over at Team Rank 5. But his storyline and Rogue JT's remind me a lot of each other in the sense that Drudder came in with not a lot of high expectations as far as ability in Hearthstone, but I know that Salt was really hyped on Drudded's ability to improve and become a better player. And I think he landed on the perfect team for it. As being a former teammate of Salt, um, whether you guys love him or hate him, I know he's one of those polarizing characters in THL. I could tell you this. I don't know of very many players I personally have encountered in THL, other than perhaps people like Parker and Slimsh, um, who prepare as much as Salt does in his communication. I mean, I'm still in. I don't talk in it, but there's still a chat between Twiz, Salt, and myself in a Google chat that stays active from Twiz and Salt's time together on Entropy. So I know he's a guy that's very vocal, always reaching out and trying to help players improve. And I think Drudded was a benefactor of landing on a team with a great environment for a player to grow. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken here, Drudded is now sitting at, with 140 PR, um, twice the PR he came into this league at. It's going to be interesting to see how he continues to grow and if he could kind of remain down there in that 5 seed at his current performance level. He might be somebody that in the future of NWA, if they have to drop folks, he might be somebody that people want put on the radar, or he might be somebody that Salt wants to make sure to keep a hold of because the guy's playing like a stud right now. Um,
Yeah,
ex-
I agree.
Explosive Sheep versus Cran. This is one that 60 point PR difference at almost 70. Um, are you surprised by the sweep in this position? Because that's so difficult to do, or do you think that we might be seeing flashes of old Cran?
Not to go off topic, but real quick, I just looked it up. Drudded had a 54 PR at season one, so
Wow.
he's almost tripled that. But no, to get back to your question, no, I was not surprised at all to see Crayon sweep in. Crayon is a guy. Crayons has probably one of the highest win percentages in THL history. Um, with his time in the 4 and now 3 seed, and Explosive Sheep has struggled very hard.
Mm.
Pretty much since his very first playoff run, where he went like 2-1 in the playoffs and was like, got people talking. Ever since then, he's struggled quite a bit. So no, I wasn't like that. Did not surprise me like at all.
This might be a case of the what I like to call the rookie unknown factor. Explosive came in a very difficult position, a high performance position, being a sub during the playoffs in his initial THL performance. Um, but not a lot of people had information on what he did. I know that for those who have been extremely successful in THL, they hang out in the Discord, they talk to other players, they look at every matchup ever in THL history. You could even go onto our site right now and
Yeah,
look up Week One Alpha. They're
yeah,
there,
it's all
and
there.
I think he might have been a case early on of he was bringing some wacky stuff and people didn't really know to expect it. But he might be somebody that THL has gotten a read on, and now we'll start to see him settle into a seed that's more appropriate for him to be successful. So I think Sheep will find a good home and a good place in THL once he figures out exactly where it is that he belongs within a lineup. So congratulations NWA Netherstorm, fantastic way to finish the season. And to Mange's point, get your shit together weeks 1 and week 2 because that was kind of your downfall last season, and I don't know. I mean, you still made the playoffs. Perhaps you would have been up against a different seed if you had performed a little better early on this season, but still a great season overall. Good job to Twiz and the folks over there at Netherstorm. Which brings us to another kind of shocker this season. Um, Temporal Legends were one of the lowest ranked. Most people have 15 or 16 on their preseason rankings, and they come out and they make it into the playoffs and have a very respectable showing against two-time champions looking for a third title. Yes, that's a nostalgia, old school stat right there. Harry Generals. Um, First off, Mage, what are your thoughts on the season the Temporal Legends had? And then how do you think they performed in this specific matchup against the Harry Generals?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this again before, but going into the season, we had very limited information on Temporal Legends lineup outside of Hector. I think we knew the most about Hector, and he had like a 2 game or 4 game sample size. Um, so they started off really low in the power ranking, and then started 1-2 in the regular season, and then since then they did not lose all the way up until this round of the playoffs. So I think if you're Temporal Legends, if you're Hector Howe, you have to be incredibly happy with your season, and you have to think that it's something to build upon. And as far as their match, like if you look at it right now, they almost won. They came
Yeah,
really close. Um, both Hector Howe and Phoebus went to Game 5 with the Harry Generals. And when a series is going to Game 5, it can literally be won on just maybe a better play here or there, or just a little bit better luck. So um, you have to give them a lot of credit for taking the Generals to the limit and just barely losing.
yeah. To your point, if either one of those Game 5 matchups falls in favor of Temporal Legends, we are talking about them as a championship contender, as opposed to the Harry Generals. So I mean, it literally comes down to a one-game difference between either Hector and Poker or Phoebus and Dag. Um, Markshire and Chigmo had a great match as well down there in the 2 seed. It fell in favor of Chigmo, um, which I think, even though Temporal Legends loses this matchup, Chigmo's been with Hector since the SHL. Or sorry, it was S. Yeah, it was S. Damn
Yeah,
it, which one is it now?
it,
SPL, right? Is that
yeah,
what formal?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Um, so actually, I don't want to misspeak here, but was it Phoebe? Three of the five members of Temporal Legends came from the SPL to THL with Hector, and here's
yep.
Chigmo, a guy that a lot of people had question marks about. Um, getting a key close win over a high caliber player like Markshire. Um, so you lose this matchup, but you gotta take all the positives as you lose. It was a one game difference, and as you said, RNG and Hearthstone could be RNG, or maybe it was one misplay. But you look at that two different spots, and you have your two seed taking on one of the most respected members of THL and coming out with a very close victory. Um, Hector and the fellows over there have a lot to hang their hat on and a great rookie appearance. Just don't be like Avatar and make a great deep playoff run season one. And then, no, I'm just kidding, Avatar. You guys proved me wrong once again, which we'll get into in a second here. Um, Now, moving forward, for the Harry Generals on this side, is there anything that you look at in their matchup with Temporal Legends that might make you feel a little shaky as you move ahead? Anybody that might have underperformed in this week that, or not, I don't want to say underperformed, but like a position where you might want to look at your potential matchups and actually, let me flip it. Let me flip this whole thing around. Where is the point in the Harry Generals where you go, fuck yeah, that makes me feel good going to the semifinals?
For them, I
For the Harry
mean,
Generals,
okay, yeah. So Jedi, I think, has won 2 straight weeks in a row, right? After no, he lost last week.
he lost
Like
last week.
when he's already won their playoff match this week, which is huge because he's been struggling on the season, and the rest of the lineup, other than him, has been really, really great. So the fact that he already has his out of the way and it's a win, like you have to feel really good about that if you're the Harry
hmm
Generals.
I would also like to say that I think that seeing Poker win against another 500 level player again has to make you feel great with one seeds like Slimch still alive in this conversation, one seeds like Tony Montana still alive in this conversation. I also have to say that Dag Hype returning to get a PR underdog win against Phoebus has to also feel good for the Harry Generals and be something that as they move forward, they could feel confident in. Now, I was shitting on them a little while ago, but I really can't. I have no grounds whatsoever to take the crap I just attempted to take on Team Avatar. That's why I stopped myself mid sentence. They took on you and your boys over at Team Rank 5 this week. And last week, I had said that this is one of the probable greatest matchups in the one seed to watch G-Nets and Slimsh go at it. They've had a long history for those who were around the Wicked Wednesday days, which um, spoiler alert, will eventually one day be returning. There's a long history between these two battling it out, and it was a dogfight once again with Slimsh falling 3-1. But take us through this as you were part of it, sitting there watching your team play, match by match. Where was the head of Team Rank 5 as you were watching the stats come in and guys pop in and out of Discord reporting their scores?
It was fine. Like it was a kind of a meme that we all expected to lose, but we really didn't. Um, GNets and Avatar had a really good strategy against Lynn, targeting Shaman specifically, and then looking at how the rest of Avatar submitted, we thought that they would just do that same strategy with everyone else. And so after seeing it like the first time, we kind of adjusted a little bit, and it came in handy, especially for Rogue's match when Zagber tried that same strategy of targeting Shaman like G-Nets did, and we were prepared for it. And after that, we kind of shut it down. So um, I don't know. We felt good about it. Like after, like G-Nets is a great player, and as great as Slimsh is, like it's totally like not unexpected to lose to G-Nets. So
Yeah.
uh, that's gonna happen sometimes. But then when Rogue was able to get his win, we felt a lot better about the rest of the series. Just because at that point, looking at the matchups, two of Markshire loaded, or not Markshire, two of MV Parker, Loaded Lux, and Jesus would have to lose for us to lose, and we like those odds a lot. So I don't know, we felt good.
Yeah,
And
just to
then,
clarify, because I was a little confused about this as Mage and I were doing our prep. The results between Lemur and Jesus C are incorrect, by the way, on the site.
yeah, they are.
It says it was in favor of Lemur, it did go in favor of Jesus by the same score of 3-2. Um,
Yep.
and just for those who are not currently in chat and might be watching this on VOD, um, and this really speaks to the caliber of player G-Nets is. In THL, has a 1-2 record against G-Nets, and we all know that Slimch he's the PR god. So I hope folks truly understand the caliber of player G-Nets is, and when they look at that 3-1, they understand exactly what was happening in this matchup. This is
Yep.
one of my favorite matchups to watch, as you have. I think Slimsh's preparation in THL is a thing of artwork. It's truly masterful to watch, and then you have a great player like G-Nets, and watching those two different minds go up against each other. Um, it's one of my favorite things to watch play out in THL. And this Lemur Jesus thing this season, I know that the two of them will tell you whatever they want about it being a rivalry or not being a rivalry. I find that their matches are very entertaining to watch. They usually go all 5 rounds. Um, and they're two guys that are very active in Discord, so it's like I get to hear their thoughts beforehand, I get to hear their thoughts afterwards. So um, this is quickly becoming a matchup that I hope to see more of. I know with the division switching up next season, it might not be a thing I get to see again for a while, but Avatar does walk away with 12 points, which I was saying in Discord before this is probably more than a lot of folks expected. But those in the know, I'm using air quotes. I know you can't see me here, Mange. Um, Team Rank 5 was saying it all week long, and a lot of people were thinking it was just them doing the Team Rank 5 thing where they downplay everything. They knew Avatar was a good team and was going to score a lot of points. They always have confidence in themselves to win, but that wasn't a meme. They played a great match. They did lose, but putting up 12 points is a very respectable way to lose with 3 out of the 5 matchups going to a game 5, and stealing one out of the 1 seed from Slimch there. You know, Avatar, I think you have a lot to look forward to going into next season. Whether Lemur's willing to put himself through another season captaining, I don't know. But sorry for all the shit I gave you this season. And honestly, great performance. And way to finish out strong. Yes, you lost, but I think that's a very respectable loss, much in the same way that Netherstorm, I think, put up a great fight in their loss against NWA. So we have the Defias Brotherhood and 1600 Dust. Didn't quite live up to the hype that I was hoping it would. But we do see Defias moving forward, and Team 1600 Dust only puts together 8 points, with 2 members being swept. So, Mage, my specific question for you is the bottom of Defias's lineup this strong, or can we blame BlizzCon for the sweeps?
No, it's the strong. They're really really good at the bottom, like incredibly good. So yeah, they're I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to expect sweeps, but you if you're Defias, you had to feel really good about handballing against Rock Base, and you have to feel really good about comping the 3rd seed against almost anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then we don't know a whole lot about AO. Now this is his second THO win. Obviously, he's A-okay.
Well,
But dude, I don't know. I think they're just that good.
it'll be interesting to see when the Defias Brotherhood here comes up against a team like Team Rank 5. I think that AO is playing great Hearthstone, but I also think some of this might be a case. Now, I don't know how 1600 prepares, but here's another player that comes in, has early success. Not a lot's known about them. He does beat Ham from Noob Central. I'm not sure what Nade and his boys over there at Noob Central did in week 7 to prepare or not prepare. But you come up against a team like Team Rank 5 that's having great success in the 5 seed with Rogue JT. It'll be interesting to see if this is another rookie sensation, unknown, putting up points because not a lot's known about how to counter, what decks he plays, so on and so forth, or if AO really is going to be another 5 seed threat. I'm excited to see how that plays out moving forward. Now, you do have one of the storylines for those who were in Discord this week, and we already have information on this, so it kind of spoils this topic. But A-Roy wanted to win his matchup, and secretly, although he will never publicly admit he wanted a teammate to lose, once it was wrapped up and Defias knew they were moving on, he wanted that one seat to go up against Slimch. Uh, but let's not get to week 9 right now. Let's just talk about the climb that A-Roy has had from the 4 seed to the 2 seed, or the 1 seed, I apologize. Do you think this is a Rudy type story? Or do you think with the way that Defias was built this season, it was bound to happen?
No, I mean that's not bound to happen. Aroy had to go like 8-0 to get there, so um, he worked his ass off and he won a lot of games and he deserved it. It's an incredible story. Like you almost never see a 4 seed going. Like have we seen a 4 seed going to a 1 seed? I don't think so.
No, we've seen a 3 seed go to a 1 seed. Um, I don't know even when that happened because that was in bulk in the Team Rank 5 of Season 1, correct?
Yeah, he went from 3 seed to 1 seed, and
Yeah,
that's happened a few times in different teams and stuff.
yeah.
But I don't remember seeing a 4 seed to a 1 seed in the same season. So that's really cool for him. I know he was excited for it.
So it's one of those hidden storylines that, guys, if you're not in Discord, I feel like the folks that are currently watching in chat are also our Discord family. But that was a fun one that I think probably midway through week 7, A Roy realized was a possibility. It was something that he strived really hard for and put together a type of season that people start saying the word MVP under their breath. I say start because we're gonna talk more about that, and not to say that that hope's dead in any way, shape, or form, but a truly great season, Aroy. I will give you the tip of the hat, sir. You got your matchup with Slimch, which I think we can now progress to, man. I covered everything, right? Because those are just repeats down there of what we've already said. All right, semifinals week. More results have come in since we've gone live, man. Um, Geez, guys,
Yeah,
can you at least wait for Tavern Talk to finish? Actually, no, it's kind of fun now because actually let's bring up one more fact because last week was the last week that we did predictions for. Our pick'em for the season, we determined that uh, the pick of Jesus and Lemur would be the tiebreaker because our guest picked the same as the host. And thank you, Mange, for making Tavern Talk legitimate. I finished the season just breaking 800, breaking 500 by last week. I went into the week at 4-5, and I ended up. No, I went. I'm sorry. I went in at. Yeah. Huh. I messed something up in my math here. I should be at 9-6, or 7-6. That's what I should be at. I ended the season 7-6 with a couple ties. Mange and our guests were tied at 11 correct picks and 3 incorrect picks. So we did the tiebreaker of Mange picked Jesus over Lemur, and our guest picked Lemur over Jesus. So Mange, you are this season's Tavern Talk Pick'em winner. I have no reward for you other than thank you for at least being one legitimate host on this show, because I clearly have no clue what's going on at THL. Um, I
we
did
did
try,
it.
I did try to put my faith in a lot of teams that I jumped on the bandwagon early of, and I didn't want to abandon you guys. Noob Central, you guys cucked me on like 3 different weeks. Um, but if you guys want to know why Mange was the very first person I thought about when we needed to put a new host on the show, it's because the dude knows his shit when it comes to THL. So congrats, Mange. And maybe
Thank you.
next season we'll make that a Google poll, so every week the whole entire community can participate in our pick'em. And maybe we'll have a real prize for the winner next season, guys.
It'll be
Uh,
fun.
so week 9, NWA. Uh, they are trying to be fueled by getting first. They have a long way to go as we already have 2 results in favor of the Harry Generals. Poker has picked up the sweep against Tony Montana. Also, as you alluded to earlier, Jedi comes out with a huge win. Guys, this is like big, big, big. This was one probably, no offense to Jedi, love them, but I would say this was probably the most favorited match for, a favorable match, while I could speak, for NWA as Jedi takes on the stud Cran and pulls out a 3-1 victory. So we are looking at the Harry Generals up 8-1 early in the series. Can NWA bring it back? There are three
Yes,
matches left to play.
yes, they can. And I'm just basing that off of the players that they have remaining, which are Salt, Pink Salmon, and Drudded. All guys that we've talked about as being really good in this league. It's going to be a long road because for sweeping any of those is going to be hard. Or I mean, like winning three in a row is going to be hard. That's just hard to do in Hearthstone. But they can do it. They have the firepower left to do it. Will they? I wouldn't bet on it. Those are long odds, but they
Mm.
can.
Yeah, I think that the place, if I were NWA, where I'd be most concerned, and the good news is this might be with not shortchanging anybody on NWA, but like I said, this might be with one of the most motivated THL players out there. Salt against Mark Shire feels bad on paper. But knowing what's at stake and knowing that his match is probably the least favorable for NWA, um, I expect Salt to do extra preparation on top of what he already does. Samus, you gotta feel good over Bork. The Drudded Dag is going to be a great freaking showdown. There's been Dag hype, but as we talked about, Drudded has almost tripled his PR since joining this league. So you have two guys that started low and have done nothing but climbed since then. So I don't know if any of these are getting streamed. I'm going to give a brief pause in chat. Hopefully somebody can Jedi. I've been saving up my Jedi juice for the end. Hopefully somebody can inform me as to whether any of these are being streamed or not. Um, and if not, can we at least get Drudded versus Dag streamed, please? And if it comes down to Markshire versus Salt, I don't care if it's Sunday at the 11th hour. Let's get that thing on stream. Now, as we said before, guys, season alpha, the Harry Generals won a 6-team league. To prove it was not a fluke, they came back in season 2 in a very strong blue division and won a second championship. They are currently the only 2 championship team in THL, and they are going for their third. They're a team that kind of has snuck under the radar. I mean, we talked about them as being leaders within blue, but with such dominant and great performances from Team Rank 5 in orange, the surprise that was 1600 Dust in green, and trying to figure out was NWA for real or not this season, which they're in the semifinals of the playoffs, folks. The Harry Giants kind of skated under the radar. Is this a dynasty mage? Is this are the Harry Generals the Patriots of THL?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you go back and look through the seasons, like they very rarely have down seasons. Maybe one or two. Yeah. I mean, you always expect them to be competitive, and I don't see why that's going to change anytime soon.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we are in the semifinals and we actually have some. If you look at them seed by seed, some awesome matchups and potential for upset moving forward. But if we looked at the Harry Generals holding this lead over NWA, and as we get into talking about the matchup of Team Rank 5 versus Defias, Team Rank 5 has their hands full this week in a very difficult matchup. But if those two were to make it, they would be two well-known historical THL teams that have a legacy of success. One kind of feels like the 16-0 Dolphins that, or 16-0 Patriots that lose in the championship. The other one feels like the barely 500 team that wins the Super Bowl. Um, Guys, I'm being facetious here. Obviously, that's not truly what I think of the Harry Generals. But what will it take this week, Mange, for you guys to get through a very, very tough Defias team? And can you please explain to the folks at home why MV Parker versus Comp is not the mismatch that it looks like?
Because Comp tilts MV Parker off a cliff, which isn't that fucking hard to do. Because he tilts at everything. But I don't know. He play like Comp takes his time and plays slow, and Parker has zero patience. So when that happens, he starts getting antsy and plays shittier. And I don't know. I think in THL, Comp has like a 2-1 record. So uh, I feel good about it because like Parker's a god. But it wouldn't surprise me if Comp can win. Comp can win.
Yeah, so it's not. Parker has had a studly season, joining the 500 club. Um, but as Mange said, it's not big lead by any means, 2-1, but it is a winning record against Parker in the three matchups they've had. Parker will tell you that Wicked Wednesday versus Comp has not really been a strong point of his, but he was one of the many players that tried out new deck ideas and kind of theory crafted and tried to find the. Didn't he invent that weird Dragon Warrior he was playing before Dragon Warrior was really a thing on a Wicked Wednesday?
Mm, I don't know if he played that on Wicked Wednesday, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
The
so
dragon is off tempo deck.
and it worked.
That's a
So
good deck. Good card.
So there's a difference between Wicked Wednesday and THL, but it's not locked yet, so we'll see what happens there. Loaded Lux against Hambowen. Gotta feel good about the season Loaded Lux has had, returning after a season break in the THL, coming in as a former 1 seed, now 3 seed, going up against a former 1 seed, now 3 seed. Um, any thoughts for you on, or without giving away too much strategy, anything you could tell us about Loaded Lux against Hambowen?
Nope. Not without giving away strategy. Uh, we really love Loaded Love. He's been super busy, and he's found time to come on the Discord a couple times a week to talk over and prepare. Um, and so I expect him to do the same. Well, he did it already, but I expect him to get a little bit more practice in, and I don't know. We feel really good about him, like against anyone. So
Yeah, he's got a couple top 100 finishes for those who don't know. He was somebody that even when he was in the league in season 2, he was somebody that was not super vocal. He came into a few Salty Saturday chats and Twitch and would watch Tavern talk. But he is a player with a respectable Hearthstone history, and it's somebody that in the 3C just feels very unfair. Um, so yet again, you got Jesus C going up against a former 1 seed of the Harry Generals, which could make an interesting storyline if Defias ends up moving forward against the Harry Generals. Um, Boom Boom Paul versus Jesus C. You kind of have a player that's progressed steadily up. Jesus being a former 5 seed, I believe, wasn't he somewhere around 150 at one point in PR? Or am I shortchanging him there?
we were paying 84 PR him for 1 point.
Yeah, so hopefully this is the same kind of success story we see from players like Drudded and Rogue, who have shown a lot of promise in Hearthstone moving forward. I see this as you got a player who's climbing and doing really great, and not a shot at Boom Boom Hall, but if you look at it, it's statistically true. A player who's kind of been falling in PR and seeding in THL. Um, do you think Jesus' momentum can be a tool he uses to overcome the former 1 seed?
Momentum? Nah. Uh,
Pure hatred?
I mean that does fuel him. If you talk to Jesus, he's mean as fuck. I don't know. I don't know. Like this is probably the best opponent just by pure skill that Jesus has ever played against in THL. But I'm not ever gonna pick against him ever. So
Nah.
I think he's gonna do it. I'm gonna be honest.
I bet you. So the other day it was funny. Cassidy was joking in Discord. I don't know if he was joking or serious. Either way, it was a cool concept we were talking about. If there was lines in THL,
Uh
like
huh.
like betting lines, I bet you if we had actually done that, Jesus C, even in his losses, would have covered every time. I feel like he's kind of BYU. For those of you who bet, BYU is a team that always seems to cover the spread. Even when they lose, they still do good enough to cover what you need them to cover. And I feel like that's Jesus C. He's just reliable, and especially to have somebody, the word reliable and four seed going together. You have a lot of skill in Boom Boom Hall, but you got reliability over there. And I mean, some people are fueled by getting number one. Some people are fueled by just being assholes. And this is another opportunity for Jesus C to put somebody in their place. So I think he'll rise to the occasion. All right, so we talked about the hype that was Dag Randolph versus Strud. AO versus Rogue JT. Rogue came in at 100 PR, correct?
He did.
And here he is, almost hitting 200. AO breaks 200 with his win last week. Obviously, you're going to pick your team. That's your job as your captain. As a captain, have faith in your team. But what do you think about the future of Rogue JT in THL?
So people know that I play a lot of HOTS, and Rogue is a guy that I saw in like every hot stream ever for like 3 months, and so I knew who he was through just literally through Twitch streams. And when I got to talking to him, I it was just I know it was a kid that I was talking to that was incredibly intelligent about video games, knows how to min max, knows how to do his research, and looks at things intelligently. And so he was talking about playing Hearthstone in between games of HOTS on ladder, like in between for queues and stuff. And he was just talking about how, like, yeah, he had just hit rank 17, and it was his highest rank ever. And he's like watching these streams. Like, this guy is really, really bright, and we want him. And so I made the pitch, and he signed the board, and we got to coaching him, and he picks up things so quick. I can't really say enough good things about Rogue JT, despite him sucking so much ass at like everything. But like I don't know, I can't say enough good things about him. I don't know what his future is as far as this team or other teams. We haven't figured that out yet. But he has a one seed mind. He would not surprise me if he were to take the game seriously. If he, were to hit legend and make those high pushes, he's incredibly brilliant. Like, I can't say enough good about him. He's such a bright kid.
He's approaching that dangerous range that kind of ends up sometimes being THL dead zone of that 200 to 250 range. You're kind of too high to be a five seed. You're not high enough yet to be a four seed. So I wanted to give this airtime not just for you to brag on him, but depending on what happens, because you never know. You never know. Teams have to do what they have to do. Obviously, with a guy with as much potential as Rogue, you hope to hold on to him. But as a captain, I know that even, you know, like to watch somebody like a Twiz or a Salt walk away from your team is tough. But sometimes you have to do what you got to do to make your team work. So I hope future captains, current captains heard that sales pitch right there on Rogue JT, and that's if and only if he does not choose to stay with Team Rank 5 or if Team Rank 5 can't keep him or whatever it holds there. And
Yeah.
the same could be said for AO, who's had an awesome 2 weeks, but he's coming up against a player in Rogue JT that's kind of unlike any 5 seed that you will face on any other team. We don't have previous data to really go off of on this one. Do we? No, because you guys played them right before AO joined Defias.
Uh, they played each other in SHL, and AO swept Rogue.
That's last hero standing though, correct?
It is. That's why we're not concerned. But yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, different formats work and don't work for different people. So Slim's has already locked down the 3-2 victory. Uh, if you're gonna lose, Roy, you lost the best way you can, bringing it to Game 5. You gave your team a shot even with a loss. There's 4 matches to play. And there are some interesting storylines to be had and some potential in possibly the 2 seed, possibly the 5 seed. For Defias, team rank 5, you got to feel a certain kind of way in that 3 seed. And the 4 seed is, I think, too hard to tell based on, past and current performances. So it's going to be interesting to watch this one play out. And it will bring us to, man, there's to have either Defias against NWA, 2 new teams. Well, I say NWA like they're not a second team, a second season team, but they feel newer when you look at the rest of the names on this list. Or the Harry Generals versus Team Rank 5 and 2 old vets, or possibly old school versus new school. There's so many different ways this could go. Or the bloodbath that would be Team Rank 5 versus NWA. Because for those
Oh,
of you who have participated in the comments or the chats or Discord, there's definitely 2 different schools of thought in how to approach both team building, deck building, and play of the game between those 2 teams. So that'd be interesting to watch it all play out. The point being here, folks, we're coming down to a close of a season that, um, you know what? In a time where I didn't really care about Hearthstone, I am so grateful for THL and the many storylines that played out this season to keep things interesting and to keep me engaged with this game that hopefully with this expansion will reignite the passion and bring me off the bench. Put me in, coach. I'm thinking about it. All right. So next week we will be here with championship hype. We'll know all these possibilities, these ifs and what ifs will be settled by then. I somehow accidentally closed out my Q&A thread that Slim so graciously took from my personal feed. It put onto the THL site there. Jedi, I know you know my pain. I'm not gonna get. We should make a most disappointing award. Oh, rip. I'm not gonna get too much into the MVP yapping yet because I still think that we need to see how things progress with the rest of the season. I do think that there are some players involved that could make or break their case on what's left of the season. And I think there might be some players that aren't active that might be rewarded for the work they did on teams that are already knocked out. I'm just looking at chat as I realized there was a lot of MVP chatter going on there. Um, yeah, guys, it's not as clear cut as you think it is. I've been in those conversations before. I've sat as the boards tried to figure it out. I've been a part of the 500 reply emails, and yes, they do get that long over who should and should not be MVPs. So don't write anybody off yet. Um, so there was one question I saw that I wanted to address. Um, Here it is. Thank you. This one comes courtesy of Brunson. Whenever I need a good save on our Tavern Talk Q&A, when I am what's the copy pasta? Something about when I'm speaking about my team and the team we're playing against, or something to that effect. Let's transition into me specific. I found it into me specifically. Then looking ahead to my team playing this week against my team's opponent. Then poorly transitioning into a broader question about some division crap to make it look like I care about anything other than my team and me specifically? What are the chances you could mention my name and my profound question on air? Jedi, 100%. That's the answer to your question. I said your name, and there's the likelihood. But truly, Brunson wants to know, Mange, and this is important. What is your favorite value menu item at Wendy's?
oh, Frosty all day. That's not even fucking close. You know how good Frosties are? It's like
So,
the only reason I ever go there.
so here's my one issue with this question. I don't get one thing off the value menu. I build like,
I just get a Frosty.
see, I get Frosty, and I get the fries. And I'm one of those weirdos. I dip the fries in
Is
the
it different?
Frosty.
No, it's not weird. It's not weird at all.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of Wendy's fries, um, unless I dip them in the Frosty. Because the thing about Wendy's fries is if you don't get them fresh properly fried and salted, they get mushy and gross, and it feels like eating a sloppy noodle. And not like the fun kind of sloppy noodle. We're talking about like you better check first the softest of pretzels, for those who know the meme.
No. See, Slim brings up a good point. I don't consider the chili option at all because I live in South Florida. Like, I'm not gonna get fucking chili.
Mm.
But then Jedi brings up the strong counterpoint of the problem with Frosties is that straws don't work, and he's fucking right. You have to either wait or you have to grab the spoon, and that shit's
Well,
annoying.
so I thought the whole point is it's like a non ice cream dish. It's more like soft serve ice cream than a shake. Isn't that the whole point?
I don't know. I don't know. I always want to drink it like a milkshake, and I can't. Every time it gets me. Like, got me again, Frosty. But I'll wait 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna drink you.
I'm a
Oh,
paid shill. How the fuck am I a paid shill? Because I have a unique perspective on the identity of a frosty. And you know what? Here's the point I will go to with I don't consider that I live in a cold environment. All right? I live in a place where actually right now it's 27 degrees outside and it's not even halfway through November. It's about to get cold enough to freeze my balls. All right? I still don't consider the chili option because the fact of the matter is that dude, like you make your own fucking chili. I'm from a place where you don't buy ribs. You spend all day making your ribs, and your ribs are the best ribs. You make your own fucking chili. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't know how to make chili, first off, I feel bad for you. But second, okay. If you don't make your own chili, okay, because chili's fucking delicious. But learn how to make your own fucking chili. It's like, honestly, it's like $7 to make the meat. I forgot about the meat. All the ingredients excluding the meat, it's like $7. Come on, make your own fucking chili. It's a
you're talking me into it, and then you're talking about outside of the most important ingredient in the chili. It's only like $7.
so here's the deal,
Shouldn't I
right?
just get shouldn't I just get it from Chili or from Wendy's then?
But chili is one of those things you make one batch and then you eat that shit for like a week. It's like fuck, what am I gonna cook tonight? I'm tired. Work was a motherfucker today. I don't feel like cooking. The missus is gonna be home soon. Oh fuck it, we got chili in the fridge. We're good to go.
Fuck, I want Chili's now.
oh,
Yeah.
so Brunson, I would like to thank you for saving the Q&A thread with your amazing question. Um, Jedi, I'm sorry for shitting on your chili. I know that you're passionate about the chili option. Slimsh, you live in almost Canada, so I could understand any possibility to warm yourself is a good one. Um, like I would even drink Starbucks coffee if I was that close to the Canadian border, and I fucking hate Starbucks coffee. I used to work there, and I still fucking hate Starbucks coffee. Um,
Probably just cheap for like $5 on fire and warm yourself that way, no?
probably, probably, but I mean, I was gonna go an inappropriate place with this conversation, but chili's like the gift that it's like eating jalapeno poppers. It's the gift that keeps on giving, even after you've eaten it. If you know what I mean. It'll keep your asshole lit for a week.
Dude, I love jalapeno poppers.
Oh man, I'm so hyped for the playoffs to finish, guys. I'm hyped to see what the flag is going to be that flies. As you know, Petrucci and our boys over there at the official banner poster graphics making committee do their thing and come up with something cool for us. Um, let your flag fly forever. NWA, give us something to talk about. Bring it to Game Five. Um, Tobias, make a season out of it, boys. You got a lot of vets over there, a lot of people that deserve to move forward. Can Team Rank 5 push past the semifinals? Can we see the throwdown of two of THL's greatest dynasties, legacies, as possibly the Harry Generals could possibly take on Team Rank 5? Will we see new teams come to the pinnacle of THL? Will we see an NWA or Defias claim the first championship for these young teams? Guys, there's a lot to watch. There's a lot to look forward to. We will be here. Hype has it that Jedi will be joining us for the championship special. We might have two captains sitting here talking shit about each other's teams. We might have one captain talking about the excitement to come and the heartbreak that was. Um, thanks for being
Wait,
here, guys.
wait. Mark Shire wants to know about Chris Cluey. I'm down for exposing Chris Cluey. Who wants to know what? Give me a question. I'll tell you anything you want to know. We have time for this? Might not have time for this.
We have time for this.
Okay, tell me, Mark Shire, what do you want to know? I don't know what the question is. Fuck that guy.
Rip. Carb choice for me would be. All right, so while we're waiting for Mark Shire to respond to that, I would just like to put a plug in there. I don't usually do this. This is me shilling. Um, Panera bread, French onion soup with the bread heel. Fuck my life, I want it right now.
I get the only thing I get from Panera bread are their bagels. They're Asiago bagels,
Oh,
and
so
like
good.
they have this Asian salad. I don't know what it's called, but it's so good.
I think I know the one you're talking. It's not the. It's like Thai Asian chicken salad or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my,
Oh man,
so good.
so good.
He's,
Mark Shire's response was just expose him. I don't know
oh,
what that means for a question. Um, I'll leave it up to
yeah.
you whether you feel like elaborating on that or not.
Nah, he can come in Discord and hear the story.
All right. How good of a teammate is he? That's the question being asked. How good of a
I,
teammate?
it depends on his mood. He's really fucking moody. There are some days where he'd like sit there and like talk for hours, and he'd jump in and like this is like Skype days. He'd jump in Skype and he'd play like Pirate Warrior and like when it was uh like not a good deck, and we'd all laugh our ass off and like, oh, this guy's so down there. And then he'd get like really moody and like not want to do anything. And he was really moody during during that last week of the season where he just needed to win 1 point for us to make playoffs, and he just didn't play. And I think it was a purpose effort because he was pissed off at me for some bullshit. I don't even know. So I don't know.
So it sounds to me like the moral of the story is fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Don't sign NFL players.
Also, Mark Shire, the turkey bacon bravo. Oh God, yeah, so good, so good. So let's get to our parting thoughts for the evening before
Okay,
we start shitting on all of our teammates. But seriously, fuck that guy. Um,
just fuck.
Mange, can you please tell the folks at home your parting thoughts for the evening?
I ain't talking about chicken and biscuits, biatch.
Chicken and biscuits, biatch.
Chicken and gravy. I don't
It's
remember.
chicken and gravy, but I was gonna play it off, man. Dude, I was gonna roll with it.
I'm
Damn.
just looking at mac and cheese. My mac and cheese looks so good. I'm about to dig in.
So my parting thoughts for the evening are as follows. Uh, thought number one is good luck to everybody that remains in the quarterfinals or semifinals. I know my sports, I swear. Thought number two is anybody that's around. I am probably going to play a whopping 2 matches of HOTS. Um, so I invite anybody that wants to enter the Nexus to enter the Nexus. Until next time, guys, we'll be here, same bat channel, same bat time, next week with the Ninja Jedi himself. So please join us there. And until then, THL is life, THL is love. Goodbye!
Bye.